Alright, so did a video earlier on our backyard chickens for me. I'm going to redo it here because I want to start from the beginning. Number one, if you're thinking about getting backyard chickens, do your research. Excuse me. Allergies are on overload. Make sure you're not violating any ordinances, any codes. If you live in a subdivision, make sure you're not going to violate any codes or anything there. And you don't want to make anybody mad. Find out what kind of chickens that you want. What is your goal on having backyard chickens? That's what you want to set your goals. I did tons of research before I got backyard chickens. So you figure you want backyard chickens because you want the eggs, and the eggs from the chickens, from these backyard chickens, they're nothing like store-bought eggs. They are so much better. So anyhow, you decide you want some chickens. Well, figure out how many that you can probably have. There's several different places that you can figure out how many square feet that you can have in your brooder, how many square feet that you can have in your hen house or whatever. I figured on 2 to 3 square feet per chicken in your brooder. Another thing that you can think about is cubic feet, because there's actually 2 levels in that. There's the floor level, and there's the nesting boxes, and then there's an upper level up here where that's actually where they sleep at. So you figure out how many chickens that you want. So you're 2 ways to get them. Get them in the springtime. You can go to places like Midland Farm and Home, places like Buckeyes, or you can order them online. Now, I wanted to go look at them and pick them out instead of mail ordering them. If you mail order chickens, you have to order so many. You have to pay a fee that you didn't order enough. So I ended up getting 2 Rhode Island Reds, 2 production Reds, which, depending on who you ask, is a cross between a Rhode Island Red and a New England Red or something like that. 2 black Australops and 2 Americanas. I felt comfortable with that. Later on, I ended up getting 2 ducks, which ended up being male and female, which also ended up not a very good idea because the male kept trying to mate with the chickens, so we had to rehome them. So you want your chickens. You decided what you want to get. So first of all, before you even get them, you have to set up a brooder box. Now that thing there was our first brooder box, and it worked out perfectly. You could put a heater in there, and they had plenty of room up to a certain point. I think I had them in there for 3 to 4 weeks. After that, I went to a dog kennel, which worked good too. And you have to have the brooder at first around 100 degrees, and you raise that temperature 5 degrees a week. And what the brooder does is it takes the place of the hen. You okay there, Bee? That's our house cow. And here's another good thing. Make sure your pets are going to get along with them. Bee and Hooch is over here. They don't mind the chickens at all. They love having them around. When we first got them outside, Beatrice was out here checking on them all the time and making sure that they were safe. That's just her. Okay, so you got your brooder set up. You got your chicks in there. After about 8 weeks, they're ready to go outside. So I made this little fenced-in area. Figure it's got plenty of square feet for them to run around in. And obviously this monstrosity I built myself, made my own plans, did research on what I wanted to make. So the door here This thing here is freaking awesome. It was, I don't know, about $120, $130. Takes 4 AA batteries. I've had those AA batteries in there for since I don't know, since spring, about 3 months now, and they're still fully charged. So what that does is I have that set to open the door at sunrise, and I have it set to close at 9 p.m. Now, I'm going to adjust that because our chickens, they go to bed probably about a half hour, 45 minutes before sunset. So they're in there well before 9 o'clock. So if we go to the front here, we're going to slide these open. Okay, let me open up the other door here. Okay, so here's the inside of the coop. I use cedar shavings. And then I have this on here. This lifts up. You can see it set inside there. And I made it to where I can back my gorilla cart back up in here. And when I pull this thing up, I just scoop them out right into the cart. I mean, it takes less than 5 minutes to change this bedding out. And this bedding, well, it'll last 3 weeks to a month. Up here in the loft, these trusses are custom made. I made them myself. I'm not a carpenter by trade. I'm a retired firefighter. But these trusses actually are very easy to make. If you do your research on it, it's just based on triangles. It's actually fun to do. There's the nesting boxes. I got 3 nesting boxes. We'll go around there in just a minute here. And you'll find out, like everybody says, they'll only use 1 or 2 of them. A lot of them will use the same ones. There's a little ramp. You get up to there. I use 2x2s for them to roost on. They love coming in here. I've got 2 windows that I can prop up. You want plenty of ventilation. I do have a roof vent up there. That'll be open all the time. I've also got a temperature mode there that I can always see what the temperature is in here, and the receiver is in the house. That light used to work. I mean, it still does. I disconnected it. I thought maybe they needed a light at night. They do not. Also, when I first put them out here, I put food and water in here. Don't do that. They don't need that. Keep the food and water outside. This is only for sleeping and laying eggs, and that's all. Okay, so secure this all up here. All right. Wow, allergies are bad. So here's the nesting boxes. I don't have any type of thing that holds the nesting box down. Excuse me while I hold this up. This thing's heavy enough. I do have a thing on there to make them prop up. So here's just their nesting boxes. And at work, we have medical records, so we micro-cut the medical records up. Or whatever, it's not all medical records. They love it. They actually love that paper there. They love laying their eggs in that. Okay. So, you've got it built. Yeah, can't forget their swing. There's their windows. Provides plenty of ventilation. There's the ladies. They're running around. They love these grasses. The grasses provide a couple of different things. One, it holds bugs in there. They love scratching through there and to get the bugs, and we're going to go out there and I'm going to show you that. But it also provides cover. So if something flies over that they don't like or something scares them, you will see them dart into those grasses. They also love this mulch. Beatrice, Judy chicken. Better not have. They love these mulches because the mulch holds bugs in. And they love coming out here and scratching in it. They love making little nesting places and sitting there for the afternoon in the shade, whatever. But yeah, they'll scratch through this, and then usually in the evening, once or twice, we'll come out here and we'll settle it all back. I did put up some perimeter fencing around the hostas. Got in trouble for that because my wife she is very proud of her hostas. She and all her flowers. It is very beautiful. She does a wonderful job on all this stuff. But yeah, the chickens, yeah, I got in trouble. So anyhow, so you got your chickens out in the hen house. They're outside. So what do you feed them? Well, let's see here. Turn that down. So, you know, as chicks, you want chick layer feed or chick feed. Here's what I feed mine. Like I said, I did my research on it. And I go and I buy a bag of whole cleaned oats, sunflower seed, the black sunflower seed, cracked corn, and what else? There's 4 things. Oh, the layer pellets. Okay, mix all that together, and I put it in 5-gallon buckets, mix it a little bit at a time, and then add some diatomaceous earth to each level. Doesn't take much, but what that diatomaceous earth does is it worms your chickens. All right, nothing worse than having worms in your eggs. You can eat them, just adds a little more protein to it, but I don't know, kind of nasty. So you got everything together. You're gonna feed them. Don't get carried away on expensive feeders. I'm gonna show you mine. So mine, those are just 3-gallon buckets, 2 or 3 gallon buckets. You can buy these things. When they lift up and they're empty, they automatically fill. When they're full, they go down and they shut that valve off. All you have to do is just fill this up. I filled that up the other day. It's still well over half full. The feeder, 2-gallon bucket with that screwed onto the bottom of it. And 3 holes drilled to let the feed out. Okay, I mean, it's simple as that. Grit, you gotta have grit for them. What? Well, hello, Mabel. So these white pellets that you see here, that's oyster shell is what it is. That helps build up calcium so they have good strong eggs. When you use your eggs, throw them out here because they'll eat those eggs and it adds calcium. They'll eat the egg shells. It's not bedtime yet, little girl. But like I said, make sure they get along with the pets. That is a big thing. Okay, so the neat thing about having chickens is, besides the fact that they're providing protein for you, they will weed your garden. What do I mean by saying that? Okay, last year, in between these grasses, it was full of weeds. They clean it up. Look at it. You don't see any weeds there. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate that. Also, they love grass clippings, so probably every 3 to 4 mowings that I do, I'll bag it and I toss it in there. And number one, it holds insects in there, so they go through it daily, and adds a lot of protein to their diet. And they just like doing that. It keeps them busy, keeps them happy. Isn't that right? Here's my outside water. I like having 2 waters. Here comes Mabel back behind me. I think that's what their name is. I'm not sure. Cindy knows, I don't. She named them all. Yeah. But they are a lot of fun. And they are, if you think that that's a lot of work, it's not. you know, I fill up that feed bucket once a week, because they're eating a lot of stuff out here. Usually once a week, I'll throw a scoop of that feed into these bushes. You know, just gives them something to play around with. That feed is very expensive. That entire barrel in there was right around $40, and it will last probably 6 months. So the cost of these is minimal. The work is minimal, and it's just a lot of fun to sit out here and watch them run around. It's absolutely hilarious. It's like Keystone Cops. One of them will take off running across the yard, and the other ones will follow them. It's like they have somewhere to go in a hurry, but they don't know where they're going. A lot of fun to watch. I wish I would have done this with my kids when they were younger. They would have had a ball at it. But if you ever thought about getting backyard chickens, folks, have at it. It's like I said, make sure you do your research. I had a lot of people, I had a lot of people help me because I watched their videos, what to do, what not to do. But it is a lot of fun. Now, if you get in trouble for having these can be comfort pets or whatever you want to call them. You can get them certified for that. And but I don't know. We don't have any problems with it. Neighbors actually love watching them, and they get free eggs too. So if you're thinking about getting backyard chickens, again, do your research, figure out what you want to do, set a goal on what you want to do, and then have at it, because this is very, very simple. It's easy, and me and my wife enjoy coming out here, and they love white bread, and they'll come up and they'll peck it right out of your hand. All right. If you have any questions, comment on here, like the video. Every once in a while I'll post something on here, so if you want to subscribe to my channel, you can certainly do that. There's some other funny videos on there too. But have fun. This is a lot of fun. They're just back there minding their own business. They make hardly any noise at all. That's what's so fun about it. All right, folks, enjoy. Bye.